Hello again. We're back on Talking Sports. Kip and the Legend are bringing it to you, and we are excited to, we're going to do, let's face it, here, 365 days a year, 24/7, it's football season. So we're not going to ever have a show where we don't talk about some aspect of football. And there's been a lot of things have gone on here in the offseason. Want to get your reaction to some of these. I'm calling this segment New Faces in New Places. Ooh. I keep thinking about that song, Looking for Love, but I'm looking for quarterbacks in all the wrong places. And we'll start with a quarterback you're really familiar with. What about Jalen Hurts wearing the Oklahoma Sooner uniform this year? What was your reaction when you found out that he was going to Oklahoma, and how do you think that's going to work out?
Well, Jalen Hurts is a legend at the University of Alabama, Kip, and we love him, and I applaud him. And I notice he is third at Vegas casinos for the Heisman and the odds.
Wow, how about that?
So what this tells me is the last two Heisman winners have been Oklahoma quarterbacks. One, a transfer. Why not another transfer? Because we know the Big 12 has defenses like me and Kip at linebacker trying to tackle folks, and it just don't work out. So I look for a major leader for Jalen Hurts, and I'm a Sooner fan. We're cheering for you, Jalen, and we love you.
If a guy stands absolutely still, I can still.
Well, don't do that, Kip. They got traction for them.
Oh, okay. So I was thinking about a segment for next week. Suit somebody up, and I'll go ahead and do a form tackle.
I love it. I love it. Don't put me up to it. I'll do it.
Justin Fields. Justin Fields has left Athens, Georgia, left the SEC, and he is in Ohio State country. He's going to play for the Buckeyes. And here's the thing that's amazing. Remember the rule that you had to sit out a year if you transferred?
Yeah.
Not the kinder, gentler NCAA. Justin Fields is going to be able to play this year because he had special circumstances. He had a disruptive experience at Georgia.
Poor man.
Yeah, he was just
free room and board. It was horrible.
Yeah. So anyway, he's going to play for Ohio State this year. There's a new coach. Urban Meyer is not there anymore. Urban Meyer is not running out of that tunnel. The new coach's name is Day. He was a quarterback at New Hampshire. He's never been a head coach before.
Never.
He's 40 years old.
Mike Shula. Day, huh?
Yeah, good luck. His first name is escaping me.
It's not important.
Anyway, that's a good trivia question because I don't think 99% of sports fans could tell you who Ohio State's coach is going to be this year. So Justin Fields off to Ohio State. Another Georgia bailout, Jacob Eason from last year. He's going to be calling signals for the Washington Huskies. And right in our own SEC, Kelly Bryant is going to Missouri.
And they're on probation, ain't that right? After he went there, didn't they get suspended for a year?
Yeah, I don't know what the sanctions are. I know they had some NCAA
No, he wish he was reconsidered. But as I look at that list, Kip, I'm reminded of Texas against Georgia and me shouting at the TV, Kirby Smart, if you want to be Nick Saban, go ahead and bench that quarterback and put the #1 player in the country last year in the game for the future. But you didn't hear me, Kirby, and now it's a problem because let me tell you, Justin Fields is going to be a superstar at Ohio State. He may win a national title at Ohio State, and Kirby, you will not at the University of Georgia simply because you chose experience over talent. You never do it in sports. You don't play Steve Kerr when Michael Jordan is on the bench.
The transition to our next list here is right along the lines of this quarterback debate because the SEC coach's hot seat, it's pretty quiet this year. There's really not a lot of turbulence except for the loveliest village on the plains. Guess who's on the hottest seat possible? Our boy Gus. And Legend, I really want to hear your reaction to this. Gus didn't get any of these great available quarterbacks. He's going to go with Bo Nix this year. What do you think?
Well, here's the thing. The barn is on fire! The barn is on fire! You can't afford an 8-4, Gus. You sure can't afford a 7-5. And here's the thing, the reason I got shades on when they brought this football out, I was reminded that Alabama got 23 of the top 150 players on the ESPN list. The future's so bright at Alabama, ladies and gentlemen, I still got to put shades on. That dynasty ain't over, but down at Auburn, they're not recruiting at that level, and Gus is fixing to hit the bus.
Gus's schedule this year not as demanding as last year. They open with Tulane instead of Washington, so that's a pretty good start.
That's a plus.
But they have road games at LSU, at Texas A&M,
Loss.
They pick up the Florida Gators in the swamp. So it's not going to be any easier. They do get Alabama and Georgia at home. Of course, starting next year, the Georgia game is going to be moved to the first half of the season because it's not fair. We have to play Georgia and Alabama back to back.
It's not fair, Auburn. I completely agree with you.
Hey, Auburn.
You're a basketball school now anyway. You're no longer a football
There's no
school.
crying in football.
There's no crying in football.
Okay, the other one on the hot seat, the only other one I think really is Matt Luke at Ole Miss, who I still can't believe is the coach. But Ole Miss has got to have a better season this year because, I guess because they were in trouble after the Hugh Freeze administration. Matt Luke has been a good guy to bridge the gap. But are they going to get serious and finally get a real coach down in Oxford?
Well, I know one thing. Metcalf's a first-round pick. A.J. Brown's a first-round pick. So they're producing talent down there on an NFL level, Kip. So I don't know. I mean, Ole Miss is the great mystery of the SEC, but we know Ole Miss. You're Ole Miss. You're not Alabama. You're not Georgia. You're not LSU. So we don't expect much from you anyway.
Yeah, so their schedule's a little bit easier, too, this year, so we'll keep an eye on both of those guys. Always fun to talk about those coaches.
Love it. Love it. It's hot down there, Gus. Hop on the Gus.
When we come back,
don't need to discuss
it's your update on Kentucky Derby happenings. The two big stars showed up last week in Arkansas, and guess what? They both did not win. We'll tell you about that, and I'll give you our ratings for the Derby coming up right after this short timeout on Talking Sports here on ABC 3340.